Welcome. To the
what are you doing?
The shit they don't, what
Hey, Mark,
they tell
turn
you,
off the
they
echo,
don't
please.
shit they don't tell you
Mark,
podcast.
turn off the echo, please.
I'm the Iceman, and I talk about the show title wrong.
Oh, I'm Nikki. I take things way too serious.
I've done the show for 4 years, and I can't pronounce my own show
I take
title.
the show too serious. Hey, everybody, it's shit they do not tell you.
I'm never serious ever.
Hey, guys, just FYI, it's actually shit they do not tell you, okay? It's not whatever Steve just
It's
said.
actually shit they don't tell you.
that's
It's
how
a
you sound.
contraction.
That's how you sound.
Freaking use an apostrophe and get your life together, green.
Anywhom, today...
No pun intended. Get your life together, because it's like apostrophes bring things together. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, God, I didn't even get that, and I
love
hate it.
Nerds like it. I bet there's one nerd out there that's like,
No.
respect.
No. There's a
Recognize.
nerd out there who just threw his phone in the ocean.
He probably has more.
So today, indeed, we are talking about a... well, look, let's be real, right? The world has a lot of calamity right now.
Yeah.
Heckin' lot of darkness out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are scared, right? They feel like their money's not worth as much as it used to be. They can't really buy all the things that they wanted to buy. They can't really go to a lot of the places they wanted to go to.
Are you talking about you?
Yeah. No. No, but like, when you look around at the picture.
That's not everything, but like, yeah.
We're heading into a recession.
Yes, we're heading into a recession. That's part of the darkness for sure.
Yeah, so we wanted to talk about, being two people who have been on this earth for some time now. Mm-hmm. We have gone through things like this before, how we kind of worked our way through them, and how we're able to cope with things like that.
And also, I mean, on the other side of the coin, what to do when like you are experiencing like lots of highs. Like, I feel like they're kind of two sides of the emotional coin that like people tend to get way too manic when they are experiencing highs and like way too sad when they are experiencing some lows. And there's a way I feel like I've found through a lot of therapy and like, reading and just trying to, do personal development of tempering that, and kind of like stoicism in a way where you're kind of like ebbing and flowing with life rather than constantly trying to push against the curve.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you ebb and flow like that? Because you're someone who can get pretty stuck.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, I'm not coming at this from a place like, I've always been so zen and like, whatever, the waves wash over me.
Right.
No, I like totally had waves crashing on me and I was like, I'm drowning. Oh my God. Like, where is the boat? Where are all the boats?
There's no more boats.
There's no more boats exist in the world.
All. Yeah, that's more like you.
Some people get boats, some people don't get boats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But how do you deal with that?
Realizing that there are only certain things that are in your control. Okay. Like, yeah, it fucking sucks when you're in that situation, when you're in piles of debt, you don't know how you're going to pay the rent. You don't know if you're going to be able to feed yourself, whatever the case may be. I'm not taking away from that, but recognizing that you can only control so much helps to kind of like calm you down a little bit, because spiraling out of control, having panic attacks, like fretting and like feeling like the world is never going to get better, doesn't help you get better.
Yes.
Like, and so I kind of had this realization that I had nothing to lose by just embracing the storm and, kind of choosing to flow with it and like kind of seeing it as funny. I actually wrote some of my
That does help.
I wrote some of my best stand-up when I was at the lowest points of my life.
Dude, I remember I was living in K-Town. Me and my ex had broken up. I was living alone in this apartment that I could barely even afford. And then like you have to get food and stuff, and you have to pay, at the time I would work downtown LA, so I had to go park down there, and I get parking tickets all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Because of street sweeping shit. Which is just basically a poor people tax.
Oh yeah, there's like 5 minutes
tax.
where you're allowed to park there, and then there's like 10 signs telling you all the time windows you cannot park there.
It's the best. So, and then the street sweeper just moves all the dirt and shit that's on the ground around. It doesn't even.
Yeah.
It just moves it around.
They don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, it doesn't suck anything up. It just moves it around. So anyway,
Just gonna spread the dirt around a
It's
little
the
bit.
best. So then I would have no money to afford anything. I was eating ham, like sliced deli ham at night, and I had Miller High Life in the fridge, and that was like my dinner.
Sounds like a 20-year-old diet for sure.
Yeah, and then I would get these parking tickets that would then double if you don't pay them off, and I couldn't afford to pay them off, so they just kept on doubling and doubling and doubling.
Yeah.
And then one day I had a boot on my truck, and it was like from the city. It's like
You actually had one of those?
I had an orange boot on my
Oh my
truck.
gosh.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm so screwed.
Just from keeping your truck parked in the part where you're not supposed to park?
Yep.
Wow,
And
Green.
I know, but that was the low for sure.
Yeah.
And remembering that low, like remembering what I had to do to get out of it was just like, okay, even all the little things that I used to do, like maybe I would go to Subway for lunch and get a $5 footlong. It's like now I'm bringing my sliced deli ham to work with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just do what you have to do because of necessity.
To stretch.
Absolutely. And then I even had to borrow money from my grandmother at the time. So yeah, it was a really crazy thing. But like Nikki says, there is a thing that I do, like a system that I have when you're going through something crazy, which is finding how funny it is. Like when you zoom outside of yourself and you watch this, it can be funny, right?
If you think of like your favorite sitcoms, your favorite comedies, your favorite any comedies really, the characters are usually in pain. Like they're usually going through something that's very painful for them. But as an outsider watching the thing, it's really funny how they got themselves in such a predicament.
Yeah.
And so we're laughing, haha, at like The Hangover. He's like freaking missing a tooth. He doesn't remember like what they lost their friend. Like all kinds of stuff happened, and they're like freaking out about it. Like it's the worst thing that happened to them. But we're all laughing because we're like, that's a really silly situation you found yourself in there.
And for me, it was like, man, the system's truly like out to get me here. It's like I can't pay my tickets because it's too expensive to live here. But then it's like, I can't, drive my truck now because my tickets compound every month because I didn't pay my tickets. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
you can't drive to work.
Yeah, you just have to. It's like, are they just going to come tow me? Is the tow truck going to just tow me away?
Are you going to get a boot, an orange boot put on you?
You just start to try to find the little moments of laughter that you can find because you have nothing else.
Yeah. You're like, how much more painful can they make it?
Yeah.
I dare you. I challenge you to get more painful.
You
world.
really can't take much from me.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah.
It's like when you're playing poker and you don't have many chips left, it becomes profitable to shove because you got nothing to lose.
That's it.
Like you got not as much to lose. And so, yeah, you just start having fun with it because you're like, well, normally I wouldn't play this hand, but fuck it because I don't have that much to lose. I only have things to gain. And that's kind of like the mental state I found myself in when I didn't have a boot on my car, but I was getting sued. And I had negative money in my account and I was getting sued. Like, who sues a poor person? Really?
Well, that was the business model, right? It was to get your parents to swoop in and then
Yeah. So I had negative money and I owed like tens of thousands of dollars in credit cards, and I had just gotten laid off from my job. My boyfriend and I broke up, and so he moved out and he was splitting the rent with me. So it just was like a pile on, and then I got in a car accident and I was like, I don't know what else you can take from me. Where do you want me to go? I guess I could just move with my parents. I don't know where this is going. I have no clue, and now I'm just here for the ride. And it kind of put a level of presence in me because I'm a habitual overthinker. But when you've taken away all the ways to analyze a situation and there's nothing left because I've exercised all of my options, I'm just like, okay, whatever will be, I guess.
Yeah. And dude, I was also so stupid too because I like gave my girlfriend at the time a credit card that was in my name to help her pay for school and shit because she was working as a nanny and she like couldn't do school and nanny at the same time because it was too crazy on her school stuff. So I was like, here, take this credit card. I got you. And then, we ended up breaking up like within like a year of that.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck with the bill. It was like 14 G's or some shit like that.
That's insane.
Wild. She was putting like Apple iTunes $500 on there. Like it was wild.
How do you spend $500
I know, especially like you're going through school. You're like, this is like a nice thing. And then it's like, oh, well, I have this now. Swipe.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
wild.
It was back in the day too, where there weren't as many apps. So like, she was like just buying songs.
Just buying the shit out of songs and albums and shit, whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, anthologies. You know what I'm saying,
yeah.
bro? Yeah, it was wild. So yeah, then you know, it just the way that it was all kind of stacked around me, it was sort of yeah, like Nikki's saying, it's just sort of something where you have to zoom out and see yourself as a sitcom character. And you're like, okay, guys getting the shitty end of the stick.
I wrote a bit because I started getting letters from Bank of America. Shout out to Bank of America, where I've been banking for
still do
18 years or whatever.
Probably 25 for me.
I was getting letters that were like, hey, did you know that you should put money into your account?
So funny.
Like they thought the problem was that I didn't know that I was supposed to put money in the account. Like I just have like piles of cash lying around, and I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to put it in the account. I'm a dummy. And then I go deposit a bunch of money, and I thought that was really funny because I was like just crying about life and like not knowing if I was gonna have a place to live, and Bank of America's like, hey, you think about putting money in your account?
Dude, I remember too, like buying something for like $2 at a gas station. It was nothing. I was probably gas, honestly.
Yeah.
And then Bank of America is like, yo, we overdraft protected you. Don't worry, we got you. $35 a charge. And so apparently for like the last like, you know, day and a half.
Yeah.
It was
every time you charge.
Yeah, it was overdraft protecting me $35 each.
If you bought like 10 $2 items at different places.
Yep. So it's like, hey, we got you. $35 each a pop. So then you go to the teller and you're like, yo, I cannot afford this shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, don't worry, we overdraft protected you. And it's like, no. You guys are charging me like $270 because I bought like $12 of stuff.
Worth, yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we had your back, dude. Don't even fucking sweat it.
Yeah, we got you, bro. You signed up for our program. So like, we got you.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, Mr. Green, because, you know, this is one of the first times this has happened to you. We can take one of these charges off. This is the best, dude.
That happened to me too.
Did they take them all off or one?
Well, luckily I only had 2 charges, but so they took both of them off. But well, what had happened was their program is actually, if you start a savings account, they have a special overdraft protection thing where if you have money in your savings account, they charge you $10 for the overdraft fee for the inconvenience they had to do to like draft it from your savings account. But if you don't have money in there, then they charge you the $35. So I didn't have money in my savings account either, and
I just like the idea that the bankers are like, dude, we got to keep the lights on in here, dude. You gotta understand.
Like,
we're providing.
Do you understand that
this is hard?
We had to like move money from one account to another account.
Do you think that's easy on us on our
servers
clients?
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah, it was the best.
Yeah, no. So yeah, definitely being in that situation,
but being able to zoom out.
Yeah, zooming out
and like seeing like,
having
dude,
perspective.
This girl can't catch a break.
Yeah, it does help.
We also wrote a few like shows, like pilot episodes of things that were loosely based on those experiences because it's just fun. It's fun to watch the main character struggle.
Get wrecked, yeah.
It's not fun to watch someone thriving at life in a comedy.
Not really.
It's like, okay, that's not funny.
It's boring. You need conflict.
It's really boring, yeah.
So the conflict is what, you know, informs... it informs all the choices that you're going to make, and then that makes it more interesting.
And people make really funny choices out of desperation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then getting towed too, and like, you know, because we used to do improv stuff.
Yeah.
And so like, there's this one spot by Iowa West. If you parked there, it happened to everybody once.
Everyone, yeah.
If you parked at this one spot where they didn't have a sign, they got you. And like, there's nothing you could do. You couldn't challenge it because there's a sign like that's blocked by a tree or some shit.
Yeah.
But that got me too. And it was at the worst time too. So it's just like, you know, all this can stack up on you. But look, it's important to remember that, you know, tough times don't last like tough people do. And I really do believe that. Like, and
it becomes part of your story. If you can get through it, if you really like can zoom out and build, like use this as an opportunity to like kind of problem solve, you know, and then it's a challenge that you got through and it makes you stronger. And it sucks to hear someone say that when you're going through something. I totally get that. Like oh, cool for you to say you're not going through the freaking challenge I'm going through. Yeah, I understand. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be unempathetic
No,
to
you're
your
in the
situation.
winds. We understand.
But it does, like, for example, like weeks before we started dating, Steve caught me stealing craft services
I did.
from our like dinky little set, like our Totally Sketch YouTube set. They don't even
shameful.
have a union spread out.
No.
I used to do extra work, like background work, just so I could like steal union spreads, craft.
Which, by the way, that's
union
good shit
level
to steal.
crafts. Yeah,
That's good shit.
Oh yeah, they have like brie cheese slices. I
Yeah.
was putting that. I brought my own Ziploc baggies.
Good shit.
So I was legit. Like we talk about this a lot, but like legit. Like didn't know how I was gonna feed myself stealing Funyuns. I don't even like Funyuns. But I was like, it's sustenance and I need to feed my body because I spend the change that I have, like the little loose pennies I have on cat food
Yeah.
to feed my cats before myself.
And you fed them the good shit, Friskies.
Oh yeah,
So
they
there
were
you go.
living like kings.
They were living well.
Luckily, I only had 2 at that time. I don't know if I could handle 4.
Fair.
But yeah, so Steve caught me stealing, chewy granola bars and Funyuns. And he's like, what are you doing? Because I'm like filling my purse with it. I'm like, nothing. I'm poor. I can't eat things. I can't afford food. And then that became our first date story was he bought me a Ralph's grocery card before the date and snuck it into my purse so I could feed myself. And it's like sad, but now it's cute. And it's like we got through that. It wasn't forever. All positions in life are temporary. And that's kind of a philosophy that I really embraced was that whether it's good or bad, and a lot of people don't know this part of the saying, this too shall pass. That you've heard that saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't just mean the bad things like when you're grieving. It also means the highs too.
I agree.
Like to not get too caught up in the winds of the highs because all positions in life are temporary. And that sucks to hear too. If you're like riding on a high, you're thriving in life, you don't want to hear somebody being like, yo, this is gonna be temporary.
Yeah.
But it's good to like have that in the back of your mind that like, hey, I'm embracing all of the flows of life. Like I'm really grateful when cool things happen and it sucks when bad things happen, but it's not the end of the world. And I think there's a way to embrace that philosophy and keep yourself grounded no matter what situation's happening. Sometimes I get when really good things are happening, I start getting really scared of losing it all.
I know you do. You talk about this often.
Yeah. And that's why I have to tell myself like, hey, let's just fucking enjoy it. And it's good to remind yourself that.
I know. I always like, when we're hanging out, you and me, and then we have the kitties in the room, and
it's like the best period
it's the
of
best.
time.
Yeah, it's the best. But then you always have to soak it in and appreciate it because, it's all a moment in time.
And also, I really like to like make a conscious effort to appreciate the things that don't cost money, because you won't ever lose those things.
That's true.
Like whether the chips are up or the chips are down, I can take a walk and like
yes. And
breathe
that's
fresh
honestly
air
one of the best things
and like see animals.
that I've even started doing that helps me, and it's like you said, it's free. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Whether I'm at the peak of my life or the lowest point, I'm having the same enjoyment walking around and looking at things and spending time in nature and
Getting sun on your face.
yeah. And those are things that I think if you can always remember to appreciate those things, then you'll never lose in life.
And let's be real, they would charge you if they could for getting sun on your face, but they can't so far.
They can't yet.
So it's pretty cheap to do that.
I'm sure they're trying to figure out a way to manufacture or distribute the use of sunlight.
They will.
They'll do
or
that.
Control it.
Do you know what was that like? Was it Bill Gates who was trying to make a fake sun, or China? Can't remember if it was Bill
think it
Gates
was
or
The
China.
Simpsons.
Someone was trying to make a fake
Mr.
sun.
Burns.
No, Bill Gates was trying to dim the sun.
Dim the sun.
And China's trying to make a whole new artificial sun.
I love it. May the best man win.
I'm like, we're living in a simulation for
It's
sure.
great.
That's another thing too. If you could just think of your life as like, this is probably a simulation.
It's got to be a sim.
What do I want to do in a simulation? If it was a simulation, let's just say it was. What would I want to do today? I don't know. Maybe go gamble or buy some pizza. Maybe
Sure.
go adopt a new cat.
Pizza's great.
I don't know. It's kind of like up to you.
No
You
more
get to-
cats, though.
You can create your own simulation.
Yeah, I agree. No, but and even too, keeping in just perspective, I remember when we started on the tubes and stuff, and then I remember when I started going viral, and that was probably the scariest time I've had on the YouTubes. Like when you first go viral, and then the next video after that. That's probably the scariest thing, because it's like, okay, my last video got 1 million views, and now all my old videos are getting like hundreds of thousands of views because all these new people are liking that video and they're going to my other videos and like watching my library.
A new standard.
Yeah, so now there's like a new, like everyone's like expecting something, and I'm like, what if I don't have that anymore or whatever?
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to blow our minds this time, Green?
It took a month to upload that video, like 3 weeks, just because I was like so fucking weird about it. Was definitely, I think what I uploaded was a piece of shit video, frankly. But it's just one of those things where you thought about it too much.
Yeah.
You spent too much time on the edit on it, and then you like kind of lost your voice a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's just what happened to me after last week in the WSOP, getting a final table on my second event. And now I'm like, I have more events that I'm playing, but that's a crazy feat. And now I'm like, is the bar too high? And I didn't play for a week, and then I just played my first live game 2 days ago, and I busted within the first hour.
Yeah.
It was like I don't think I played very well at all.
Yeah,
but
I
overthought it, and I was like, I just need to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
I just like need to get back in it and just start playing again and stop thinking about it.
Yeah, stopping thinking about it's really hard though. When
Yeah.
the pressures, that pressure's on, because now everyone sees you differently.
Yeah.
They're all seeing you as this professional poker player, which like kind of blows people's minds.
Or they're
and stuff.
seeing you as a professional YouTuber.
Yeah. But then it's like, okay, all eyes on me. What do I do next? But then I remember having perspective too. Like, anytime that you and me went to a mall for a stretch, we got stopped for pictures all the time. And I remember thinking about how I didn't need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I knew some people in the game who definitely wanted to go to malls because they wanted to go and be around that. And like
they wanted the attention of people recognizing them and stuff.
And I appreciated it. And I was always nice to people who came up. Never ever said no to anybody, obviously. Why would I do that? But some people, kind of got off on saying no to people too. It's weird.
So weird.
It's super weird. And then there's some people who I think wanted it too much or needed it too much and got depressed later because it went away eventually.
Yeah.
And for us, I just remember having that perspective and being like, wow, isn't this crazy? And just keeping that.
Yeah.
Like, isn't this crazy? Because like, when it happens to us, I mean, it still happens to us, but it's not the way that it used to happen, right? The way it used to happen was like, no matter what, if we're in a public place, somebody's coming.
Because the channels that we were on were just so
huge.
Big at the time. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I prefer the way it is now because I feel like I am kind of awkward meeting new people, and especially if now I'm meeting you have an expectation of me.
Yeah.
I'm so awkward. All I can do is like just try to like be as nice as possible because I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
But I just don't know, I don't know how to act,
Right.
really like meeting someone for the first time, but they feel like they know you, but you don't know them.
Right.
Is like such an awkward feeling.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, and too, because like like you said, we used to be on other people's channels a lot. So like at first it was just people who wanted to talk to me about other people's channels.
Oh yeah.
They didn't really know me. They just recognized me.
So where's so-and-so?
Yeah, it's dude, I'm a fucking motorcycle sidecar. He's next to me all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't blame them. That's just, that's how they connect me to that person. But it's hilarious to think about like that we live with them apparently.
But yeah, so during this time, you're just like, hey, let's enjoy this
let's
moment.
Appreciate this. This is not why we do what we do, right?
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We're thankful for it. And all like I'm appreciative that other people are wanting to step outside of their own like lives and say like, hey, I like what you do. Can I get a picture or whatever? That's always very nice. But never like, this is who I am. I need this to sustain.
I think that's what happens. And so that's kind of how I relate it to Stoicism, is that Stoicism is against attaching your identity to the highs and lows of things, because people tend to do that.
Yes.
And for better or for worse, like some people get a sickness, and it's like a lifelong sickness, and they start attaching their identity to the like kind of victimhood of, and like they can't do anything anymore because of this sickness. And then there's other people who are like, yeah, I have this, but I'm going to make the most of what I can do, you know? And I always appreciated that can do mentality, because there's nothing, you can't control that you have this sickness until they find a cure or whatever, but let's pretend you can't control it. So like, what can you control? And I'm always looking for what can you control.
Me too.
Also, I don't know, my ADD brain is jumping around, but my favorite thing that anyone's ever come up to us about is, and we were at Disneyland and we were in line, and this kid was like, he proposed to you at a Denny's.
It was so great. That was great. Because I did this video where we faked that I was proposing to her at Denny's.
It was after you already proposed. I even have the engagement ring by accident in some of the shots, but people really still to this day think that you proposed to me at a Denny's.
Because at that point, wedding videos were so big, and especially
tubers. Making fun of.
Yeah, tubers coming out and like having their engagement videos and shit. I just thought all that shit was so corny. I wanted to make fun of it. And it's all nice. It's all fine. I'm just saying I wanted to make fun of it. I'm not saying, hey, fuck all those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing a little satirical spin on that. And yeah, I proposed to Nikki at a Denny's, and it was like sneezing on myself, and like it was really a shitty engagement. But like I treated it like it was like the biggest deal ever.
Gifting me with the greatest gift of my life. Yeah.
And I did like this really shitty scavenger hunt that took way too long for her, because my favorite thing about those videos is the guy always makes it about himself. Yeah. Tries to make himself look like he's the sweetest guy on the earth.
The most romantic.
And we've never even heard the chick's name until this point. He's like, I'm going to ask her to marry me. Like all this stuff. We don't even know anything about her. I don't know one thing about her. No. I've only seen your stupid fucking face. Yeah. I've only seen you fixing your tie in the mirror. I've only seen all your friends hugging you and shit. I haven't
telling you you're the man.
Yeah, I haven't heard one thing about this chick. And then this guy's like, lighting a candle, putting it on the like lighting a paper bag with the candle inside of it and lining a whole row of it and stuff. And for me, you're just sucking your own fucking dick, dude. Yeah. You're just sitting there sucking your own dick, and then you want to show the world and have everyone go, you're the sweetest guy. I wish my guy was like that. Yeah. Come on.
That's exactly the comments that they're going for. Yeah. I blame Disney.
I blame Disney too. I always do. Unless I work with them. And then
and then we love Disney.
We blame the competitors of Disney.
We blame Nickelodeon.
That's correct. All the way down the toilet.
And on that note, we are going to talk about some people that are sponsoring us, and we love them, and check them out and buy whatever we tell you to buy. Please. And we will talk to you in a second.
After the jump, as they say in the biz, in the industry.
I don't think they say that.
They say after the little quick hop.
No one says that.
Say hop, skip, and a jump, and we'll be right back.
Cutting to the sponsors. Mark, just cut all that out.
Mark, can we do weather?
Just cut all that out. Okay, our next partner has a product that I literally use every day. I started taking Athletic Greens 1, AG1 is how we call it in the biz, because I just wanted to have more vitamins to start my day off with, because I was having problems focusing. I was like, you know what, maybe I am lacking in nutrients. And I do take a multivitamin, but Athletic Greens actually has 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, which I don't even know what half of that is or why I needed it, but apparently I needed it, because I won't say that this is why, but I will say that I have never won a poker tournament without taking Athletic Greens in the morning.
That's true.
I have taken it every morning that I have played a poker tournament that I have won with. And the times that I've forgotten, maybe it's coincidence that I was not very focused during them.
That's true.
I don't know.
And you know what? You put me in my place too, because I remember that morning I said, hey, freak, what you doing? Drinking plants?
And I said, yeah, I am actually drinking adaptogens. Do you even know what that is? Probably not.
I said, sounds nerd. Like an X-Man character, probably nerd.
Yeah, now I have superpowers and I can win tournaments.
And you did.
And then I did.
You put me in my place, and I was like, wow, I really should have listened to her instead.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it went down.
Tons of people have some kind of multivitamin that they take, and it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb.
Plus, it's lifestyle friendly. So whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, any of those things, if you're a picky person, this will still fit your lifestyle.
And, they're not exactly trying this out on you. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews.
It supports better sleep quality and recovery, mental clarity and alertness. It's the one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science. That's right, science, with constant product iterations and third-party testing. I also love that they put it in a little canister with like a powder, and they have like the scoop. Then you take exactly a scoop amount and you put it at 8 to 10 ounces of water, and they even give you a water bottle, and then you shake it all up and do the hokey pokey and stuff, and then you drink it. And it's so good tasting.
And by the way,
and refreshing.
Athletic Greens like me to inform you, you do not have to do the hokey pokey.
Okay, well, I do the hokey pokey, and that's another reason maybe why I'm winning tournaments. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/STDTY.
Again, that's athleticgreens.com/STDTY to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Hey, Nicole.
Don't call me that.
I just did.
Are you a person that's billing me for something?
I was going to be, but now I am not because I have Truebill. And Truebill basically is why people are saving lots of money right now.
How are they saving lots of money? Steve?
Well,
Steven?
Did you know why free trials renew without your consent? It's an entire business model. And entire businesses
surely
are
they
set
have
up,
my best interest in mind.
Well, if only. But they, unfortunately, I regret to inform you, they do not.
Oh, well, why ever would they renew my subscriptions without my consent?
Well, they actually really get off on being able to charge you every month without even you using their service.
I see. Because it seemed like a good idea at the time I signed up for it. But then the feeling was fleeting as I moved on to other things and forgot that I had subscribed to it.
And who does?
And I do this over and over again. Now I got a laundry list of things I'm subscribed to that's coming out of my bank account every month that I didn't even know I was paying for still.
So who the hell's going to remember all that?
True,
and that's why,
Bill
exactly.
has
And that's
stepped
why
in.
on average...
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And that's why, on average, people have saved up to $720 a year with Truebill. Because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, Truebill just makes it real easy. You link your accounts, and Truebill is going to cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap.
And your Truebill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions, so you don't have to. I personally always forget about the Apple subscriptions, like the apps.
Yes.
Because some of them are like, subscribe for a year, and then you don't even see that it says auto renew.
Yep.
And then I subscribed to so many apps in the pandemic where I was like just on my phone constantly and like, playing with like photo filter apps, playing with like makeup apps that change your hair color and your makeup. And I totally forget that I paid for like a trial service and then forgot that I paid for that, or that my free trial was up. So
don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at truebill.com/STDTY.
Go right now, truebill.com/STDTY. It could save you thousands a year.
Truebill.com/STDTY. And we are back.
We are back. Thank you for buying whatever we told you to buy.
That was so nice of you. Thank you.
Also, you could check out our Patreon anytime.
Yeah, YouTube.com.
Patreon.com/ not YouTube.
Shit.
Wow. Big fumble there, Green.
Fucking gun.
Trying to promote our Patreon.
Sorry.
Patreon.com/sticky, STIKKI. We do bonus episodes of Shit They Don't Tell You called Shit They Don't Tell You After Dark, where we talk about things that we're going through right now. We are really behind on those.
Yeah, we're behind.
So we're going to do
We've been going through too many things.
We'll be going through multiple catch-up episodes very soon. And you also get these episodes early, a couple days early. And then we have a Discord community, and Steve does a crypto stream. And then we do one monthly live stream, and we do poker tournaments. We do all kinds of fun stuff over there. So check it out. It's a very fun, awesome community. We love them.
Yes.
And back to what we were talking about before.
And they were all cheering you on pretty hard during the poker thing, by the way.
They were. I love them so much.
It was great. But then, okay, so let's talk about right now.
Yes.
So you just won, 4th place main event World Series of Poker. And there's a lot of pressure on you right now.
Yeah.
As we talked about, a lot of eyes on you. People are wondering, is she really good? Did she get lucky?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of that, even though...
Hi, I'm people.
Beating 50... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Beating 5,700 people, that's pretty crazy. But then there's always the people who don't know what this is, who are just like, this should just get lucky.
Yeah, I mean that's valid completely. There is a lot of variance, aka luck, involved in poker tournaments, more so than cash games, where on average if a good cashing rate for poker tournaments is 20%. So 20%, you're losing 80% of the time, and then you're winning some money 20% of the time.
Insane.
And so far, it's been 25% for me, but you're never in control. And that's over time. So it could be like you go like years, and then you have like a 5-year stretch where you're winning all the time. I don't know. It's just like whatever. I can't think about that stuff too much because it's just like life. Like nothing's guaranteed. You could get the best job, your dream house, your dream everything, and then like a pandemic happens and takes it all away, And so you can't think about how a pandemic might happen.
Right.
Like, yeah, like it could happen, but the odds of it happening are this or whatever. And like, we don't gain from thinking about it, you know? And so when this is happening and I'm like, oh my gosh, pressure's on, bar's set really high, blah, blah, blah. I just have to find the fun again. You have to find the silly again. You have to find things that I have to be having fun or else I definitely won't win. That's just the way it goes for me. Like I have to find fun things about it that are aside from winning.
Yes.
You know, things that I enjoy about the game aside from winning. I like the social aspect. I like roasting people during the hands. I do really do, especially the ones that take themselves too seriously.
It's the best.
I love like poking them, like needling them a little bit.
Thing in life. The people who take themselves too seriously, poking them is the funnest. I
enjoy like making the rest of the table laugh. I enjoy like when I'm losing a lot, I like putting on big Gucci sunglasses and telling everybody that I'm going to intimidate them now and they better watch out because I got 5 chips now and I know how to use them.
Exactly.
Like things like that are fun for me, and it's like it reminds me that, you know what, I can't control the way the cards are going to go. I can play the best strategy I can play, and then I can also have fun with it. Those are the 2 things I can control: is the strategy I play and how much fun I'm having.
Absolutely.
The rest I don't know. Like it's up to the cards if they want to come my way. And if they do, I'm excited. But, you know, if not, like we still had a good time. And I always have like a backup plan too, where I'm like, all right, can't wait to play cash games after this. Like,
yeah.
You know, or can't wait. Like if this goes bad, I'm going to go get a massage. And like that spa is incredible. And I can't wait to check it out. So it's like something else that I'm looking forward to, that so my life doesn't just revolve around whether I'm winning or not at this game that I'm playing.
And that's everything, bro.
And everything.
Having that perspective is huge, man, because even just, you know, what I just went through with crypto, man, that wasn't my identity, thank God.
Yeah.
If it was, it'd be bad.
Because if you attach your identity to that, then when the cards don't go your way, you feel sad.
You get wrecked in so many ways.
Think it's your fault. And
yeah. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
But having that perspective, still keeping it fun, knowing why you love what you're doing, it's everything. And yeah, making sure that, you know yourself well enough to know that you'll live to see another day and that you're not out of the game. And
that's another thing that I've been bringing up a few times in our podcast, especially when people are asking questions, is this emphasis on being process-oriented rather than results-oriented. Mm-hmm. I used to grow up very results-oriented, and I think our society as a whole kind of places too much emphasis on results. In school, it's about like what grades you're getting and like, you know, what kind of results you're seeing. And yeah, to a degree, you should be learning at a reasonable level, you know, like a reasonable rate. But there are just some things where I feel like there's too much pressure gets put on the results. Like, okay, let's say you got good grades. I got a 4.26 GPA in high school, and they were like, oh my God, she's going to go to like whatever college she wants. I also had a scholarship.
I got a 3.26, and they're like, oh my God, he's going to go to Denny's.
Well, you did, and you proposed to me there.
Damn right.
Well, so I ended up dropping out of college, and it was like people in my life were really disappointed because they just saw this, they saw that as the result. All that hard work and you did so well in school, and then the result is you're a college dropout.
Yeah.
Like, and they kind of made me feel like shit about it. And in my heart, I was like, am I a piece of shit? Because since I was little, and I don't know why or when or how or what, but I've just always felt this urge to follow what I'm passionate about over what people tell you to do. I don't know why, it's just so innate in there to like follow it. And it's so far worked out for me.
Follow that little voice.
I think there's a little voice, and everybody has it. I'm not special. Everybody has it. Like there's an intuition, an intuitive voice. You learn because of, I think, societal conditioning to shut that off and like shut it down and be like, that's irrational. I can't just do whatever I want. You know, wouldn't it be nice if I could do whatever I want all the time? But like, I don't have time for that, or I really like this one hobby, but I have to let it go and grow up or whatever. Yep. Well, I'm a big fan of not growing up and doing things that fuel you, and yes, be responsible and you know, I had to waitress at 3 different restaurants to, you know, make ends meet. And I talked about being very broke at the beginning of this. And maybe some people can't handle that. Like, well, I would rather work at a shitty job that I hate and know that I'm taken care of than be broke and stressed and pursuing something I love.
I disagree, yeah.
And that's just 2 different philosophies on life. I think that life's not worth living if I don't have something that's fueling me and that I'm passionate about. And if I have to be broke forever to pursue something I'm passionate about, I'd rather do that. And I think making decisions like that, like core decisions that I'm guided by,
and loving the process,
and learning to love the process.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm embracing this journey, the ups, the downs, the curves, wherever it takes me. I know there's going to be obstacles. There's no way for there not to be obstacles. Like, there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be something. But like Mark Manson said in his Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, or maybe it was Everything's Fucked, I can't remember which, but one of his books, he was talking about how you don't ever not have problems. But you sometimes, if you're working on yourself enough and you're embracing life, you can find better problems. And that happiness is actually not derived from not having problems. It's derived from our ability to solve problems. So the more that we build this tool and this muscle of being able to solve problems, that's actually what creates happiness.
I agree.
And that's the process part. It's not the results part. If you're only living for the results, you're living for that one vacation you get to take a year. You're living for the time where you get to get married, that one wedding day.
Yeah.
You know, you're living for this one result, this one goal. That's so fleeting and so temporary. It's like this much of your life. It's like this little minuscule amount. So if that's all that you're going to derive happiness from, you're going to be miserable most of your life. If you can't learn to love the actual process that gets you there.
Will Smith was miserable the day he was getting an Oscar. He was miserable.
Was he?
Yeah. What are you talking about? You don't remember what happened?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the Will Smith slap on Chris Rock?
Yeah.
He's winning an
I
Oscar
remember
that day. He's at the Oscars. He was nominated.
He's won other Oscars, so I didn't know which one you're talking about.
He didn't win another Oscars.
Didn't he win for Ali?
No, I don't think he did. I think he got a Golden Globe for Ali. I don't think he won.
I thought he won. Okay.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, it's just fascinating to see like the pressures that all that stuff puts on people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that people kind of get consumed with like, what if my results aren't going to match up to expectations? And I'm guilty of that too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not immune to that, but I've constantly been reaffirmed in my life that my happiness has way exceeded like itself during the process than the actual results. Or if I can learn to like love the process of getting there, find the things that I find fun, I will be happier more of the time in my life.
And more confident.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The more that you go through something and the more that maybe you have, you know, failed at something, but you're still at it.
You've been like, I've been here before.
I can do this.
I can
know
solve
what
this
I'm
problem.
doing. Yeah, I'll fix it. And it really does give you this weird, quiet confidence. And like, speaking of the inner voice is even clearer.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we got this.
Yeah.
Like, we know what we're doing. We did it before. We're going to do it again.
Because along the way, you were building the tools.
Exactly.
And it's like you collected all the tools. It's like you collected a compass and you're lost, but you know how to get back.
Exactly.
Like Dave Ramsey became a millionaire by like 21 or something like that. And then he lost it all. And then he became a millionaire again. And a lot of people's stories are like that. Like, people that have made millions of dollars, like they made millions and it was really hard for them to make that first million. Then they lost it all, but then they got it back really quickly. Why?
Right.
Because they already built the tools on the way up to the first million and then they made a mistake.
Yep.
It cost them a lot of money, but they recognized that mistake and they used that to learn instead of like kicking themselves down.
That's my entire situation right now.
Yeah.
And it's honestly like Nikki knows, like it's just something that I view as an opportunity. Like that's just how me and Nikki work, I guess. It's very much everything in our lives has been something that we either see as opportunity or we just will not be productive.
Absolutely. Because you can get consumed and spiral from, if you can't view it as an opportunity to like learn or how do I solve this problem next time? How can I get better from this? Yeah, take a day to cry. Take 2 days to cry. I definitely will take a day in the darkness of just like hating myself or life or the whatever, like how kicking myself, mostly beating myself up for making the mistake or whatever. But then you just get back on the horse and you get back to work and you remember why you loved it in the first place.
Exactly. Well, that love never leaves either. If you love what you're doing, like even when it punishes you, you're still like, dude, I still love this shit.
So a couple books I mentioned, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson and Everything's Fucked by Mark Manson. I also really like the book Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. This is a lot of these concepts he covers in that book, and how like what's one thing that parents should do more of is, instead of like, hey, how was your day at school, or what did you get done today, having a conversation that's like, what did you fail at today?
Interesting.
Yeah. And like he talks about, I think it was in this book, I hope it wasn't someone else because that would suck to misquote, but I feel like it was from this book about like having a conversation about like what you failed at actually breeds more success than talking about what you succeeded at.
Yeah.
And then also the book Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I think that is a really good book on separating yourself from your wins and losses, not attaching your ego to it, because your ego wants to just attach itself to everything. In poker, it's like a lot of ego wants to be like, when you're winning, it's because I'm the best. It's because I'm like so good at this game. It's because I'm the fucking shit. It's because I studied so much. And then when you're losing, it's like, it's because I had bad luck. Because the cards didn't go away. It wasn't in my control. And it's like you have to kind of balance those things. And in life as well, like you take responsibility for the things that you could have controlled. Like what things did you do that were mistakes that you could have done better? And then also, recognize when there were things that were out of your control. And like, hey, that's just going to happen sometimes. Like, you're just not in control of some things. Nothing in life is guaranteed. You could work at the safest job at the safest place, and that is still not guaranteed that you will always have that job, or that you will always live in that location, or be with that person. I mean, you hope it happens. You value your time spent doing those things or being with those people, but it's not guaranteed.
Exactly.
And you kind of have to accept that. And it sucks to accept when you're going through it, but it can also just like help in the greater scheme of happiness. It's an EV plus decision on your happiness. It's a profitable happiness
Nikki.
play. Okay.
Nice. But yeah, that's really what this episode is about. We just want, hopefully to shed a little light on some of our dark times and to help people gain that perspective that has helped us build out of those moments.
You know what you were talking about earlier about people recognizing it from YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 2009, 10, 11, 12, this was all happening. Like we were on like really big channels, and Smiley came out, like, so this movie, and it was like I was over Times Square, like on a big, huge poster. And guess what? I was also working at a restaurant because I couldn't pay my fucking bills.
Right.
And people were recognizing me at my tables.
Right.
That to me was embarrassing, because it felt like in their minds I shouldn't be waiting tables.
Right.
But also that was the reality, was that I was waiting tables, and I would cry about like being embarrassed, but also I would laugh about it because it was fucking hilarious how like those people had previously viewed me as being so successful, but there I was waiting their table. Because the reality is that like we weren't getting paid any money.
No,
like I made $100 a day working on the movie. It was like 5 days maybe, and because it was a low budget union project. And on YouTube I wasn't making any money. Like I was working for free on everyone's channels in exchange for like, networking exposure and a lot of things that you do in the beginning. And like they made a lot of money, but I had a waitress, and there was this perspective in the way that I felt, like the level of life that I felt people expected me to be living contrasted with the reality that was painful.
Yeah,
but it was also really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I at that time I had just started working at Maker Studios, but I was making nothing. I was making like less than I made when I was working at the high rise downtown, but it was the risk. I took the risk.
Yeah.
They offered me a gig writing for them and for all their channels, And so I would show up there with my laptop and just like, be available to all these different talent, and which was super interesting. And like, I got a million stories about it, but yeah, it's one of those things too, where it's like, at least I got to tell my ex's dad that he could suck it because I am getting paid to write now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because he was like, you'll never get paid to write in
And
Hollywood.
those little wins, just celebrating little
great.
wins. So I celebrated every little win, whether it was like a great show I did at an open mic because I wrote some new material and the jokes landed really well.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm at such a funny low point in my life that like nothing could be worse. And I think it's funny. And I started writing comedy about it. And I also didn't, I think sometimes people take that attitude and they go, they should be paying me more. I should blah, blah, blah. Like I deserve more. And that's the ego that's stepping in and being like, I'm entitled to more. Like I shouldn't be living like this when I've done all this stuff and I deserve blah, blah, blah. But I think that if you could separate and realize why you love something.
Yes.
I worked every single job, like every acting job I got, every comedy job I got, every little YouTube gig I got. I was just really fucking happy to be there, and I wanted to do the best job I could do.
And you know what else? They didn't need us. They could have replaced us in 3 seconds because that's how many people wanted to be in that door and in that room. And that was the thing though. We didn't know it. We kind of knew we were in the right spot and we were trying to set ourselves up for later opportunities.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be, because we were available and because we were agreeable, it built into our career unknowingly to us. Like, God, I was the last person to know. But
during the moment, I'm just focusing on like doing a good job.
Exactly.
And like finding the joy from that. Like, and I think that keeping that mindset, whether you're winning and making, because I've also been paid thousands of dollars to do those same jobs, later down the line because I proved I could do it. And then people were like, hey, you're worth more. And I was like, yeah, I think I am. And then they paid me more. And it's just so funny because I treated it the same way each time. Like it was still, whether I was getting paid $0 or thousands of dollars, I was still just trying to make people laugh and do a good job.
Amen. And staying humble too. It's the biggest thing.
Absolutely.
Like there's YouTube shit, like bravado and all this stuff and like playing a character. Like that's all fun, but actually being centered and humble and like
I mean, because recognizing that it's luck either way.
Exactly.
It's the variance either way of life. Is like, when you were down in the dumps, it swung that way, but it could easily swing the other way. And there's some skill involved. What they say, like luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah. So you do have to prepare, like try to put action towards becoming better and building those tools, but also recognize that like you're waiting for the right opportunity.
Yes.
And that has to do with luck and variance. And so when those two things can meet, that's when you get like that explosion and it's fun.
But then even in that explosion, you got to keep perspective.
Well, don't get too cocky when it's high and don't get too down when it's low. There's a parable. I would like to quote a parable. I think it's called a parable. I don't know what the fuck a parable is.
I don't either.
It's like a story, right?
I think it's like a saying.
Okay, it's like a saying or is it a story?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'm going to call it a parable.
Okay.
I don't know if it is one, but it's about that, there's a farmer and he has horses. Do farmers have horses? Whatever.
No,
he's got horses. This guy has horses and his horse runs away. And everyone in the town's like, oh, that's such bad luck that your horse ran away.
Poor horseman.
And he's like, maybe so. And then the horse comes back with 5 other wild horses. So now he's got 5 times as many horses.
Wow, 5x.
And everyone in the town is like, whoa, you're so lucky that your horse brought all these horses. And he goes, maybe so. And then his son falls off one of the horses while he was trying to train it and he breaks his leg. And everyone in the town's like, you're so unlucky that that horse bucked your son off. And he's like, maybe so. But then there's a war and they're drafting all able-bodied men and his son didn't have to go fight in a war and die. And so everyone in the town's like, you're so lucky. And he's like, maybe so. And that's how he lives his life, is like when things go well, it's like cool, and when things don't go well, it's like, oh, maybe, I don't know, but you can't take responsibility for all of the things.
Beautifully put. That's not a parable though. That's an allegory.
What's an allegory? That sounds like a legal thing.
It's a legal term, yeah. I don't know.
Objection.
I'm just fucking around.
That sounds like something Amber Heard said. She says that some allegories.
Well put.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the show for today.
Oh yeah, I hope this helped. I hope we were articulate in our points.
Yeah.
I don't
hope our allegories were very clear.
I hope our parables helped you out today. I think that you definitely check out those books, whatever part of your life you're living right now. I think they really, really, really help no matter what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And I am not invalidating anything anyone's going through in the downs, but I'm not trying to take away from anyone's wins. But I just think that it's important to like have like this base foundation in place that's like, no matter if I'm winning or losing,
Maybe
I'm going to
so.
have a good time.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
But also maybe so.
Also, maybe so.
Yeah. Love it.
We're having fucking fun.
That's it. That's all you can do, motherfucker.
And just view yourself as a sitcom character. Like when you're going through a really bad time, be like, that's really funny that guy had to go through that.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, and we're at the end of the show, but I was having a bad day as a kid, which is so stupid because I had to eat pumpkin pie and I didn't want pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
That's a terrible day.
I know. And that pumpkin pie was like making me want to throw up. And my mom's like, you have to eat pumpkin pie.
Why are you forced to eat dessert?
I don't know. You have to clean your plate, right?
Okay.
You have to clean your plate. So like I just got back from the bathroom pretending to make throw up sounds because I just wanted to punish my mother for like making me eat pumpkin pie. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And then there was like hurricane force winds because I think there was an actual hurricane in our area, but it was at the point where it was like a tropical storm. And I remember looking outside, it was dark, but I was late enough where I could see a bird, and it was pointed one direction, but it was flying the other direction because of the winds were pushing it so hard.
Jeez.
And that's when I had
like a cartoon.
Yeah, it was like a cartoon. Exactly. That's why you reminded me of it. And I had that little moment of like, wow. And I was just bitching about pumpkin pie. You know what I mean? Like that bird's having the worst night of its life. And here I am. Like, oh, I don't want to eat all this food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's too much food.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah. Thanks for watching and listening. If you can, rate us on iTunes. Check out our Patreon. Support the show by going to our sponsors. And we love you guys. We'll see you. I hope you're going through an okay time.
Yeah.
Maybe so,
Maybe so.
You know?
Bye-bye.